Hello, how's it going? Um, I'm recording this on Sunday. I don't know when I'm going to put it up. I've been getting frustrated with a couple of things. I'm going to talk to you about social media and Instagram because I do want to grow this channel. Um, I haven't done a recap in a while I'm doing why I'm doing this. Basically, it says on my channel, a diary of a breakup, something we all go through. Um, and yeah, and also just to see myself, to look back on like a photo album to see if and how far I've come months or years down the line. But also, and I do mean this sincerely, if it can help one other person, that's great. Um, I've said this a few times. We are going to get a few people on, talk about grief in general. People have actually lost loved ones and lost their partners. Um, I want to talk about that. And yeah, that's what I want to do. And I do want to grow the channel. And last night um, I know I'll probably be mocked for it, but it is the only way, unfortunately, to grow it. I've gone and bought one of those blue ticks on Instagram, Meta verified. Gonna done that, and what that means is when you're bombarding follow new to get new followers, they're more receptive to accept and to follow you back. So instead of maybe 1 in 20 following you back, you'd get maybe 9 out of 20 following you back. And that means there's more people to help grow the channel. And that's what I want to do because it does help me. If I'm being honest, this is really helping me selfishly. Um, Learning about YouTube and how it works, when to put things up, what doesn't work. Because I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm not getting it right, and I won't. I'll still make mistakes. Uh, but I'm finding this little hobby. That's what it is. It's a hobby. Really helpful because 3 weeks on, I've still not had seen a therapist. God bless the NHS. It's a phone one on Tuesday, Tuesday morning. Yeah, which I don't really, I didn't realize we were still in COVID times, but apparently we are, and we can't see you face to face, so I've got to speak to somebody over the phone at 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, so I'm doing that. I was meant to be doing the first stage of my move this morning, but my sister's had some really bad news, so she needs to go and deal with that. But it's not the end of the world. We can schedule it another time. Um, and yeah, just a couple of little health things. I don't know if you know. I've spoke about this. You see that bald patch? Well, that happened overnight in the middle of summer. It wasn't a gradual thing. It's overnight, and it's alopecia. And touch wood, it's not happened anywhere else just yet. Certainly not on the ball bag. Um, but yeah, so we looked it up, and also Louis Theroux. I saw him talking about he's getting it really bad, Louis Theroux, and about what he's been taking. I probably shouldn't listen to him because he's like losing his fucking eyebrows, everything. And I haven't. I've just lost that bit patch, and it has grown. But I've started taking this stuff, biotin, biotin. Now I'm not saying it is the biotin, but if you have a look at this, you see those? It's coming back, baby. He's making a fucking comeback. Woo! Yeah, because I do look good with a beard because it covers up a third of my face. And yeah, so that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Really looking forward to that. Having a beard again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's starting to make a bit of a comeback. Um, this isn't the Stone Roses at Heaton Park, but it is a comeback. And yeah, so there we go. So I've done that with the Instagram therapy on Tuesday, and that's about it. So I'm going to tell you a story. Oh, and another health thing. I've quit smoking cigarettes. I think I've had one cigarette in about 2 months. I don't miss it. Do you know why? Product placement. Oh God, we're getting the glare again, guys. And what you do is, now it's going to look like I've got a fat lip, little pouch, put them behind your lip and in your gum. So these are the 3 strength ones, because they're very strong. And this just, I'll leave it in there for about 40 minutes. Strong. We gave one to a girl who was a smoker in a bar back in Italy. She got fucking high. Like, high. That was a sight. And so they are strong, but they will stop you quit smoking. I tried to do that vaping thing, but you're still doing that. Doesn't work. And also the leakage, like fucking the oil, the filling, scared of it running out of battery. There's no batteries. Every now and again like this, you have to look like you've had a stroke. You just move it to the other side of your mouth. They are absolutely brilliant. Highly recommended. Available in all good supermarkets. And yeah, they're fantastic. So I'm going to tell you a story. This is not a good story. Well, it's a good story, but it's a story I do not come out looking well. This is bad. I don't know. Oh, which one? Yeah, well, let's just go in. I've only, apart from Gaia, I've only lived with, I've only had 2 other serious relationships. So Gaia's my 3rd serious relationship in 43 years. And this is the middle one, Hayley. And now, any sympathy I've been sent over the last few weeks, and any of your loving messages I've been sent over the last few weeks, I'm going to lose all sympathy very quickly with this one. But however bad it ended, I must state, if I forget to mention, if it hadn't for this relationship ending, I wouldn't have met some of the best people I've ever met. Because I went into a student house share and met just some incredible people, really, who are still to this day great friends. We're far away. We don't see each other or speak enough because of a distance. But they're still very much part of my life. So anyway, I was seeing a girl called Hayley, and very quickly, too quickly, this was a rushed relationship. Big up Livorno. We moved in together far too quick. And Hayley, bless her, had this fucking horrible thing, a type of epilepsy. Now, I don't know if you know anything about epilepsy. You've got, I'm not going to try and quote it, but she had this thing called partial seizures. So she wouldn't fit as such. But what she'd have is where you'd think she was completely there in the room, but she wasn't. And these things would last anything from 40 seconds to 2 minutes. And she'd be looking straight ahead, but you could literally do that in front of her face and she wouldn't know. And it was horrible. It was like horrible. She lost her driving license, everything. And she was young and yeah, and I cared about her and it was horrible to live with. But we tried to deal with it with humour. Actually, let me rephrase this. I tried to deal with this with humour. Oh, why am I telling you this? This is horrible. But we have a policy of honesty. And, oh God. Oh no. And when I'd never do this in public. We had a nice flat in Salford Quays. And when she was having one of these seizures, they would be very small time frame. You'd have maybe a minute, possibly 2 minutes. I would quickly run around the house, moving pictures off the walls and moving the pictures to different places. I would rearrange the furniture. I think once I put a hat on her. She's not fitting. She's stood up, so she's not at risk. So I must say, if she was fitting, you put something soft around her head, obviously, so she can't hurt herself. Make sure, she's not biting her tongue. And there's a lot you can do. This isn't a laughing matter. I am scum for doing this. I am subhuman scum. But I would run around. It was like supermarket sweep, and I would run around frantically moving furniture around. And at one time, I put a hat on her head, and oh my god! Oof. And then one time we had to go to this couple support for epilepsy, where you're in a room with other couples, and it's more for the partners and how they can support their partner who's going through this and what we can do. Now, I thought that was an original at the time because I was a moron, still am. I thought I was being really original with, you know, what I was doing. By the way, Haley knew about this, and she did think it was funny. And in the therapy, the therapist said, the person leading the session, said, and what you can't do and what you mustn't do is like what is it? Disorientate them while they're having one of these episodes. And somebody asks, "Oh, could you give us? What do you mean by that? Disorientate? What, hang them upside down? That's far. It's a bit much, even for me." And she actually used the example. Well, it's been known that some people will rearrange furniture thinking, it's a practical joke. Haley, again, I just felt a burning like, and yeah, it was horrible. Anyway, fast forward about 4 months, we were due to move house, and my comeuppance came. Still though, she could have been better with the communication. So much so, the moving van was due to pick us up at around, I think it was like 10 o'clock in the morning from Salford Quays. We'd already paid deposit, everything. This cost me a lot of money. Rightly so. No sympathy. I am scum for this. And the removal van was due to pick us up. By the way, this is like 15 years ago. All right. The removal van was due to pick us up at 10:30. And around 9:45, about 45 minutes, we're all packed, contract signed, agency come around in the afternoon to do the flat inspection. It's all done. About 40 minutes before we moved out, she turned around and went, I'm not moving in with you. Just a little like that. Straight face. I'm not coming with you. I'm like, but our stuff's packed. There's a van coming. We've signed a contract. Yeah, that was a crazy day. Literally on the way, we were in the process of moving on that morning, and she just dropped the bombshell and says, "Yeah, I can't live with you anymore." Now you're going to start getting red flags about me. Well, maybe Gaia, maybe there's a pattern of behaviour here, but maybe you're not such the innocent victim in all of this as you've portrayed. I'm not a fucking victim in this. She fell out of love with me. And I've told you, I take full responsibility. I've put on too much bullshit in this relationship the last 3.5 years. But yeah, that's the epilepsy Haley story. How 45 minutes before moving, she literally pulled the rug from under my carpet, under my feet. That made no sense. But yeah, that was a bad one. But a lot of positive came out of that. I ended up meeting some of the most fantastic people I've ever met. Lifelong friends. So yeah, that was definitely one. And it was a relationship I should never have been in, and nor should she, as it turned out. Okay. I'm going to talk about, this is a question for you guys. I've been on dates. For me, I don't think a first date, and just tell me your thoughts on this. First date should always involve alcohol. Should always involve alcohol. And I'm not talking vomiting and doorsteps levels of alcohol, but I think you're nervous and I think you need to like take the mask off, both of you, and, you know, you know, and just relax. I think it should never be very expensive. It should be just maybe a meal, but no meal. Just like meet up in a bar, meet up in a pub, see where the evening takes you, and just see if you enjoy each other's company. But the second date is one where you've got to put maybe a little bit more work into it, a little bit more creativity. And I remember this one with Gaia. Me and Gaia's second date. I went creative on the second date. First date was in Camden. I spoke about that in the first couple of episodes. And the second date, I was going to be really creative. And I thought daytime, so no drinking, because now you need to know what they're like sober. And we can go to the zoo. And it was a surprise. I says, well, look, just meet me outside Camden Tube Station, because Regent's Park, where London Zoo is only a short walk from there. And we'll go to the zoo. But she didn't know this. And we had a great day. It's only in the corresponding months and years after that I found out she's very anti-zoo. Hates the zoo. Hates it. So yeah. But 7.5 years, 8 years on, we were still together. So it could have been that bad a second date. But yeah, there you go. Another thing, I mentioned this in the last episode. We're going for a meal tonight. It probably is going to be the final time we get to go to an actual restaurant tonight. We're going to the Sparrows, very close restaurant, close to both our hearts, and it's the Last Supper. Maybe I might get a waiter to take a photo. You know, when Jesus is in the middle with his hands out, and all his guys and gals are on the left of right of him. I might get him to do that photo. Maybe we could do a photo mocking the photo of the Last Supper while having our Last Supper. But yeah, I just got to make sure I don't cry into the pasta, because that will make it soggy and it will lose its al dente bite. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Yeah, Biotin, product placement. Please sponsor the show, Biotin. And Nordic Spirit. You don't need to sponsor, just send them free. And by the way, one of these, £6.50, 2.5 days, 3 days. That's a fucking bargain, guys. There you go. Have a great weekend. Don't know when I'll put this up. But yeah, have a good one. Cheers, guys.